Now, you can argue, if you like, whether this is new wave of British heavy metal. It's not really the period, because it's 85 to 87, this, but it is what they did next bit of a band who were not mainstream new wave of British heavy metal, but let me tell you, they were always in view from the bar at Kerrang, in Kerrang, which generally was around the Marquee, wasn't it? And this band were always in the Marquee, propping up said bar. It was Hanoi Rocks, and I loved Hanoi Rocks at the time. First 3 albums have come out again, you know, in a kind of remastered version, really nicely done, love it, great music, still love it, still love Michael Monroe's work, and you know, they also seem to be a bit naughty, a bit nefarious. They seem to be denizens of the dark, and certain substances, illicit substances, seem to be hanging around. You know, if you said, I'm gonna hang out with Hanoi Rocks for a bit, Mum and Dad, say, all right, we'll just go and check what they're like in Kerrang, have a look at. No, you're not. That sort of thing. But Michael Monroe went on to do fantastic work, particularly his work with Ginger. One album, but it's great. I've got that to reappraise. Well, I don't need to reappraise it. I know it's brilliant. I'm just hoping that when I listen to it again, it's still brilliant. I'm sure it is. But Andy McCoy, guitarist extraordinaire, didn't really do much, to be honest. But he did do this with Nasty Suicide. You know, you've got the Hanoi Rocks connection going on. Terry Chimes. And you've also got Anita Chelema from Toto Coelho on vocals. It is the Cherry Bombz. They didn't do very much. There's a Z on that, Bombs, folks, by the way. Yes. And this album, which is what exists, is a kind of melding together, a jamming together of 2 EPs. Now, I remember hearing this at the time, and difficult to get the EPs at the time, but I remember hearing it on The Friday Rock Show with Thomas Vance and thinking, that's blooming good. And listening to it again, 30 years, 40 years, but I think it's been around 30 years since I last listened to it. It's just as good. There isn't anything, though, that makes you say, that's it. That's the reason why they're going to be famous. That's the reason why everyone's going to want to listen to this album. There's nothing like that, but there's a lot of really good stuff. Generally, it's recorded with a bit of light under the bushel kind of feel. Nothing's really ramped up. Nothing's really turned to, well, even 9 or 10, never mind 11. It's all a bit sort of quiet, but that gives it a really sleazy feel. Whether they intended that, I do not know. But things like Hot Girls, which is the first track on this mashed together album, just easy, sassy rock, really nice. Sax solo. Don't know if Michael was being brought in to do that. It wouldn't surprise me. Maybe someone could tell me. 100 Degrees in the Shade. I could look it up, but I can't be bothered. 100 Degrees in the Shade is like that. Sax is blarting away. Love that. Groovy solo. Bass and sultry vocals. The vocals from Anita are really sultry here. And Feline Feeling has a nice, actually, proto-hair metal feel to it. With a big bass pulse all the way through. Oil and Gasoline, though. Outlaw Country. Before Outlaw Country was a thing. I mean, really, it's prescient, this. And it shocked me because I'd forgotten. And it's just great. I love the trumpet solo. Trumpet solo in Declaration. Now, Andy McCoy did this sort of thing, which is, I'm going to meld together loads of different styles. And if I want to go somewhere, I'll go somewhere. And you can follow me if you like. If you don't, I'm not much bothered. It's rambunctious party rock, that. The trumpet solo in Declaration. But I tell you what, that's when the parties got started. To Bring You In is House of Ecstasy. That's a big track for them. And it's a sax in the chorus, horns in the verse. It is party rock. They are kicking the cheese footballs around. They are swigging your cider and flicking the V's. Why not? Then you've got Countrified Inner City Blues, which is actually jerky 80s pop art rock. It's great. More pop art or art pop than rock, but chart stuff for that time. Brilliant. And then Bryan Adams in a running Back to Your Lover, open brackets, close brackets, Back to Your Lover. You know, I mean, I know he's not around at this point, but, you know, or is he? He's about to come out, but it sounds like radio rock, and it's created for that. It's created for the Friday Rock Show. But then in the middle, you get a bit of Brit prog. You know, when Brit prog came back in the 80s, it sounds like that self-titled 12th Night album. There's lots of you know, on the bass going on. It's great. This is an album of so many different sounds. I'd forgotten. Maybe last time I heard it, I just want my sassy rock. I want Hanoi Rocks. And by the way, folks, those later albums, like, you know, 12 Shots on the Rocks, all of that. Street Poetry, is it called? I think. Really good. Anyway, I'm sure you already know that. This album, it's just a revelation for me almost, because I'd forgotten how many sounds you can get on here. With it being 2 EPs mashed together, I presume, you will get different sounds, won't you? But not like this. This is just great. And you know what? I advise you to go and listen, because it's not new wave of British heavy metal, is it? But why should that stop you? Ta-ta.